Back in January, Nike released their Metcon 3 training shoe, and after working out on them and reviewing them, I found that they were a great shoe for aerobic workouts for the most part. And now, Nike has released their Metcon DSX Rapper shoe at a slightly more affordable price than the Metcon 3. So how do they stack up? Let's find out. The Nike Metcon DSX Rapper is slightly more affordable than the Nike Metcon 3. They retail for $100 compared to the Metcon's 3 $130 price tag. But just because they're less expensive than the Metcon 3, it doesn't mean they don't perform just as well. The DSX Rapper also currently comes in 4 colorways, and knowing Nike, I bet there are more on the way. I'll have links in the description below if you want to pick these up. Comment below and let me know which colorway is your favorite. Although these are basically the Metcon 3's little brother, I actually like these a little more. The Nike Metcon DSX Rapper shares an outsole that is very similar to the Nike Metcon 2. The rubber is very sticky and the tread pattern doesn't allow for any slipping like the tread pattern on the Metcon 3 do. The outsole also comes up the side of the shoe so that you can get a little bit more traction when you're rope climbing. One big difference between the Metcon 3 and the Metcon DSX Rapper is the omission of the TPU heel clip on the back that allow your feet to glide on a wall if you're doing handstanding push-ups. Although the DSX Rapper has grooves in the forefoot area of the shoe, they aren't nearly as flexible as the Metcon 3. But when it comes to fit, these shoes are very true to size. They fit much better than the Metcon 3. There's absolutely no heel slipping and there's no squeaking when you walk in them. Two major criticisms the Metcon 3 and Metcon 2 have right now. The upper of the shoe is made out of a woven material. It's not Nike's Flyknit, so it's not as stretchy, but it's still very breathable. There are overlays all around the shoe to help with construction and durability as well. You will also find Nike's Flywire system, which as always really helps with the compression when you tighten your laces. Unfortunately, Nike still insists on using this paper-thin tongue that gives you zero padding. So if you really tighten your laces, all you get is a lot of pressure on the instep of your foot. But at least it doesn't shift around when you're running or walking in the DSX Rapper. The DSX Rapper also has a lot of padding in the ankle area of the shoe, and unlike the Metcon 3, they actually give you lots of ankle support. Like I mentioned earlier, I kinda like the Metcon DSX Rapper more than the Nike Metcon 3. Sure, they could use some upgrades like a more breathable mesh upper and maybe bringing back the TPU heel clip like on the Metcon 3, but overall the Metcon DSX Rapper is a much better rounded shoe than the Metcon 3. Its sole is padded enough for runs and sprints, but is still sturdy enough to feel stable when doing light to mid-weight squats and overhead presses. Sure, these shoes aren't the best for Olympic lifts because of their soft sole, but they shine in a wad, which I think these shoes are really intended for. Overall, I believe the Metcon DSX Rapper is what the Metcon 3 should have been. A training shoe that performs fairly well in almost every aspect of training. Whereas the Metcon 3 really favor a more aerobic style of training, the DSX Rapper does well when you run or sprint, and then does just as good when you're lifting them with moderate weight. Like I've mentioned in the past, training or CrossFit shoes really have a tough job to do. They have to be padded and flexible enough for runs and sprints, but sturdy and stable enough to do heavy lifts in them. And for the most part, training shoes are only okay at both of these. Sure, the Metcon DSX Rapper is no exception to this, but they still do very well. In conclusion, the Metcon DSX Rapper is a very well-rounded shoe that performs right in the middle of the training spectrum. I don't even know if that's a thing, but they perform equally well for runs, lifts, and plyometric training. The woven mesh upper gives you a lot of breathability and give you a very secure fit. The Nike Metcon 2 derived outsole gives you the traction you need, but has been slightly redesigned for slightly more flexibility. If you're going to pick these up, you'll be fine going true to size. Hey, if you made it this far, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you could, please high-five the like button, it helps the channel grow. If you like videos like this, subscribe. There are more product reviews and fitness advice videos coming. For more, check out gymcaddy.net, and I'll catch you next time.